thank you guys for being here. I've got my brother, Riley Brown, over here. One of my best friends, Jonathan Lembeck.
Good to see you, buddy.
Same to you. Same to you.
And I appreciate you guys for being here, like, so much. The subject is going to be a little bit rough to talk about for some people, and you guys are vulnerable and shedding light on something that needs to be talked about. And I appreciate that.
100%.
No worries.
So, all right, you guys have both faced drug addiction. And Riley, how many days clean are you now?
Right now, 76.
76. Johnny boy?
A little over 2 years.
2 years. That's amazing, man.
And that took a lot of work for those 76 days.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure the first days, those are always the roughest. So, congratulations to you and good
Thank
job.
you.
Keep it up.
No, that's amazing, you guys, because Riley, obviously, you're my brother, and I've seen the best of you, and I've seen the worst of you. And there's people out there, there's families that have dealt with similar situations. Johnny, your family's dealt with similar situations. And 2 years, that's a big goal. I don't know what the relapse rates are after a year, after 2 years, but I would say you're on a good trajectory,
Yeah, I don't know the relapse rates, and I'm sure there's a lot of factors, like, where'd you go to rehab, what drugs you're doing, how you're using them.
Yeah.
But I feel good with 2 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It wasn't easy, but at the end of the day, once you started going, got 3 months, a year, it all just started going, and it just, I don't know. You don't even miss it. It moves.
You really start to feel that momentum, like, after, like, a month, I'd say. Like, that's when I started to really feel it.
Yeah, it took me a little longer. It took me, like, probably about 60 days. But I came from, like, a psychosis. I was in a psychosis when I went to rehab, so it was rough.
So yeah, there's long stories associated with both you guys, going all the way back to middle school and to high school, and I really want to get in depth to the decision making over time that got you guys to your position, and whether it was one decision that you recognize kind of changed your life down that bad path, or was it a collection of bad decisions? Was it the friend groups you were associating with? Was it trauma from childhood? All these different factors that go into play. But that's something I want to ask you guys off the bat is what do you think the difference is between someone who is able to experiment like so many people and friends of ours from high school, the difference between someone who experiments and the difference between someone who actually becomes addicted? And I'm sure there's a lot of different reasons, but just off the bat, what do you think?
The amount you use.
Okay.
Like when you're younger and you're going to high school parties, how much are you drinking when you're at a party? If you're like that guy that's like, oh yeah, I killed the 12 pack. Oh yeah, fucking, 24 pack. That guy's probably more likely to be, an addict than a guy sitting there having 3 beers and going home.
That makes sense. That mentality of, at that point, it's kind of seen as cool. You're someone that could slam beers.
I got caught up in that. It was cool.
So did I.
I was a punk through high school. Everybody knows I was a punk through high school.
We were
I was an asshole, and I thought it was cool. I look back on it now with hindsight. I'm like, fuck, dude, I was a dick. But I was also a mad kid, so I don't know.
You were a mad kid?
I was. I was definitely a mad kid. I still get mad, but I don't know. I'm working on that.
What about you, Riley? Can you pinpoint differences between someone who experiments and is able to live a regular life to someone that gets addicted?
Yes and no. I mean, because we, like you guys know, we've all partied together. We've had some great times together. And, you know, we can all look back on those guys and kind of like, oh, yeah, it kind of makes sense, like, how that turned out. Like, that was the guy doing the keg stand, like, jumping through a fence, like, you know, trying to push the envelope. And thing about our bodies is, like, our bodies become accustomed so quick, it's scary. So, like you said, the second, like, someone decides, oh, I can kill a 12-pack, like, your body, like, if you've got that problem within you, your body's going to immediately start looking for that next thing.
Right.
And, I mean, and for me, I mean, obviously it was like I had, you know, some crazy friends to kickstart it in high school. Had some really crazy friends. We'd always, you know, try to push the envelope. Like, we were the guys still hanging out after the party, trying to do extra stuff, keep pushing it. And then at one point, you just want to keep going because you feel like shit, you know, after putting yourself through that hell for a few days. And if you have it within you, like I do, you're going to keep searching for it. And it's just, some people can stop and recuperate, and some people just need to keep it going, and there's no in between.
So when you say there's something in you that makes you search for that next thing, are you talking about the next high or the next level of high, or
the addict,
experimenting?
The addict within you. Some people have what's called the allergy. And once you tickle it a little bit, you feed it a little bit, then it's a wildfire.
Addict within you. So you think some people have that from like a biochemical standpoint?
I wouldn't say I think. I know people have that in.
Yes.
I like through recovery, it's crazy to me how quick somebody goes out. Like, you know, one time, I remember my first time in rehab, we were in a grocery store, you know, my first time going to a grocery store in rehab. You know, they give us our card, go pick $100 worth of groceries, and then check out and meet back at the van. All right. Some kid does some duster, got all fucked up. Then he's fucked up on duster because he was in the store. Then he goes, steals beer, and runs away and like ditches the rehab. And I was just like,
wow,
what the fuck? And his drug was like heroin or meth or something, you know? So it's like, it's a trip to me to see somebody whose DOC is heroin or meth, and then they go do something like duster, and then that's it. They got to go get high. They're done. They're over it.
DOC, is that drug of choice?
Drug of choice, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, DOC.
So there's almost levels, you're saying, within people who are addicted. There, out of that group, there's one individual that's going to go grab a duster and just...
Yeah. Yeah, normally. Like, you take 10, you just grab 10, any 10 addicts, one of them is sure to fucking let you down.
So do you...
At least one of them.
That's pretty safe to assume.
Yeah.
One.
So do you think it is purely something biochemical within that person, or is it their personality and mindset that kind of makes them a little bit more reckless? Because let's say in the scale, you have someone who's like, you know, just that wild person in high school into their young years that is like a level 5 fuck you, and then you have someone that's a level 10. And
yeah,
isn't that kind of just maybe not necessarily a conscious choice for personality, but that person's extra wild, you know? They're the ones grabbing dusters and dipping.
Always taking it to the top, you know? Gotta one-up everyone.
Some people will go to insane lengths just to change what's going on. Like, they'll do anything. Like, I've got a story from the first time I, you know, tried to get sober, this place down in Newport Beach, and he was a great guy. And that's the thing. Like, there's so many great people, and they're awesome, but they just have this thing within them that, like, it's just some monster waiting to jump out of their chest. This kid goes to, he had a doctor appointment. He's an alcoholic, and he was 22 at the time, and this was his 8th stint in rehab already. And when he was at the doctor office, he found a hand sanitizer pump. He took off his sock, filled it up with hand sanitizer, and tried to suck it through so he can get drunk off that. That kind of crazy.
Yeah. Dude, stupid shit.
And he had to go back to detox for that, and then just start all over again.
That's I'm trying to understand, just because I mean, you guys know me. I drink pretty regularly on the weekends, and I've experimented like back in high school into my young years. Not so much now, but I'm trying to understand. Let's go back to high school. Maybe your guys' transition point, whether it was senior year or after senior year. Do you remember, or can you pinpoint a time when you decided to step it up to something harder? Was it gradual, or was it something that happened in your life that was maybe so traumatic that wanted you to just go feel no pain and kind of escape? Or was it the person next to you that kind of peer pressured into, hey, like something random where you just met someone? And was it a girl? Can you pinpoint anything?
I honestly can't. I can't. Like, me thinking back, I always told myself, like, oh, fuck, I'll never do drugs. I'll never do meth specifically. Both my parents were drug addicts, and because of that, I've always, like, resented the drug. So I've always told myself, I'm never going to touch that. I'll never do it. And then, sure enough, I think I was, 19, 20?
Was the first time you tried?
First time I tried it. And, someone offered it to me, and I knew what it was. I knew damn well what it was just by looking at it. I was like, oh, shit. that's bad news. But they were like, oh, you want to try some speed? Like, it's just like Coke, but it's better, It's better. It lasts longer. You don't have to do it every half an hour, I'm like, oh, well, shit. That's not a bad, marketing point.
Wow. Were you using cocaine before that?
Yeah. I mean, because it was one of my friends that I partied with that gave it to me. So, of course, we were all doing coke, and they were like, hey, try this. It's like, this is much better.
And it was a relatively...
I knew what it was, and I tried it.
Gotcha. So it was a relatively trustworthy person, like someone that was close to you.
Yeah.
So your wall was maybe already a little bit down off the start.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You could say that.
Do you remember, Riley, when the first time you tried something harder out of the scope of general high school debauchery and stuff?
Absolutely. My freshman year was when I had my first reefer, and then a little bit of drinking, and then, so this was back in 07 or 08, and I guess electronic music started getting a little more popular, started coming up then, and ecstasy was just starting to flow around, and I tried it, and that was the first thing that really was like, okay, wow, now I know what's possible. Like, you can, if you've done it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And from there, I wasn't really afraid to really try anything, to be honest.
Really? So it was ecstasy that opened up that gateway?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Obviously, it allows you to connect to so many people, and you can not be yourself. You could be a totally different person for several hours, or, I don't know, half a day, or how much you want to do it. But, yeah, that was the first one that really just did it for me.
Okay. Interesting. So if that would have been sophomore year or junior year in high school, when did you start? If you don't want to talk about certain things, obviously you guys have the right to not put it out into the public sphere, but do you remember a transition point when you started on the hardest of what you've been on? Any sort of pinpoint? Anything that triggered it? Someone that offered it? Because I'm trying to get to the storyboard of the transition from drug to drug.
Well, it became super hard for me. Like, things started getting hardcore, or I became a professional, if you will. Probably right after high school. Started going to college, and I was 18, 19, and I discovered these doctors that you could go to without insurance and get scripted up for anything. And I became my own doctor for pretty much like almost the entire time in college. Like I gave myself as much Adderall as I wanted. And when it was time to, relax a little bit, like took some Xanax. And that was my most vicious cycle for sure. That for sure did the most amount of damage to me.
Because it was habitual. It was something you were doing almost every day.
Oh, I mean, it goes hand in hand. I mean, a full caseload, workload, you'd like take an Adderall all day. And then, you wake up one day and you realize, oh, fuck, like I'm physically dependent and you can't stop. Especially with, benzodiazepines like Xanax. That, that's what catapulted me into having a couple seizures, So I've seen the worst of that. And those prescription drugs out there now, like today, those are so bad. And it's just incredible how, normalized they are and readily available. And people don't realize just because it's in a prescription bottle, it's safe. It's really not.
There's an opioid epidemic going on in the United States right now.
Right.
So you brought up the fact that there's doctors that were just writing scripts like nobody's business and potentially getting a lot of young kids addicted to a substance to line their pockets. Would you say that's kind of correct?
Oh, yeah. Most of these doctors were, I'm trying to think of the word, but they were all red flagged. So when you go to this doctor, they write you this prescription. It's got their name on it, yada, yada, MD. And then you go to, whatever pharmacy you like and try to get it filled. And then they'll type it in. They'll see, the doctor's records. And then they'll be like, this guy's got some casualties. So I don't know if we can give you this prescription. So sometimes I would have to go to 4 or 5 different pharmacies till I can finally get it done. Because they know this doctor, it pretty much has a bad reputation. And they're not going to give it to you.
So you got to find that one pharmacy that's just like, fuck it.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
You said casualties. In their systems, they can pull up how many people have like OD'd under someone's care.
Yeah.
Is that what you're referencing?
There's records of all that.
Wow. And then I'm sure they keep track too of certain doctors that have so many different patients and writing so many different scripts that are like opioids and stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is, what's so dangerous about it too is they get all these people hooked, and they're coming in every single month, paying, their out-of-pocket costs to get their prescription filled. But the government or whoever is trying to shut them down doesn't realize that all these people are still hooked on it. So they'll come into the doctor's office, shut it down, and they're down for, however long. And you still got all these people that are completely addicted to these things, and they don't know where to go.
And that's when seizures ensue and the worst of the worst.
Yes.
That's when they end up on heroin.
Yes.
They can't afford pills or can't find pills, so then they next stop, dope man.
Wow. Okay. So on that point, the next question I wanted to ask you guys is the common phrase our parents use and people recognize is gateway drugs. What we've discussed kind of the transition from stuff that's softer in air quotes to things that are harder. What's your guys' depiction of gateway drugs? And after going through what you've been through, is this something, it's a term that has a connotation with it. A lot of people like to bash and be like, no, it's not true. I'm going to just try this and be fine. I'm never going to go down this path. What do you guys think about gateway drugs? Is it a fact? Is it fiction?
It varies per person, I feel. I don't know. Gateway drugs, like I guess cocaine, if I never did cocaine, I probably would have never done meth, So yeah, gateway drugs, very real.
So when you say, for example, that shop gets closed or the pharmacy gets closed, is that a common occurrence that people that are still addicted will go to heroin and speed from Adderall and Xanax? Because in the same family, correct?
Adderall and like Oxy.
Oxy.
Adderall
Yeah.
is meth.
Yeah.
It's meth.
No, Oxy, like you said Xanax. I said Oxy.
Is are they
Xanax is a
considered?
benzo. You can't. There's nothing. I don't think there's any substitute for Xanax. If you're on Xanax, you have to take Xanax.
Oh wow.
Because it's a benzo or any other type of benzo. But like if you're on Oxy, taking OxyContin, then those guys go to heroin, and then people on Adderall, those guys go to meth.
And if you're on benzos, I, in my opinion, that's like one of the most dangerous ones. If like because when you stop, like you have to be medically supervised. You can stop, you can kick everything else. It's going to be like hell, but you're not going to, risk dying. Like, because benzodiazepine, it's a anti-anxiety medication, which affects your central nervous system. So when you're on it for however long and then you immediately stop, that's when your body goes into shock and you seizure out.
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
And so when you guys decided to get clean, what was that like? Was it pressure from family? Was it a realization from within that I care about myself and love life too much? Maybe I should try to get sober. What was your story, Johnny, with how you got clean?
I don't know. I was running amok for a while, for a good while, and like
Can you give a time frame?
It's probably about 2 years from when I was like, because I started doing meth when I was like 20 or so, and I did it. I tried to get sober. I'd get sober here and there, for like a month, and then I'd relapse and just keep going, and then get sober again, and it was an ongoing thing, and it went on probably from 20 to about 23, 24.
How old are you now?
I almost don't even remember. I'm 26 now.
Okay.
I almost don't even remember. Like, it was so long ago, I feel. But at the same time, I can remember it like it's yesterday. But, like, me trying to get clean, I had been to jail. Well, I had nothing. I was working. I had a good job. Fucked that all up. My family, they didn't want anything to do with me. They told me, go away. Got kicked out of my place. I didn't have anything really going for me. I was like, fuck. So then I got arrested after jail. I got out of jail, and I was sober while I was in jail. So I got out, and I was like, oh, I'm good. Like I did like 30 days clean, It was like rehab, but really it's just jail. And yeah, I tried to stay sober, got fucked up, ran around for like a month, and then I remember I was just like at my rock bottom, fucking had nothing, nothing. And I had called my old boss, and I asked him, I was like, hey, do you have any work? Like, I need a job. I need something. Need a way to make some money. Need to eat, I'm hungry. And he's like, no, I can't give you a job, but you can go to the Salvation Army, and if you complete their program, I'll have a job for you when you get out. And I was like, oh, all right. Like, I didn't realize it was a 6-month program at the time, And then I kind of like looked into it, and I was like, oh fuck, like I kind of got myself screwed on that one, because I told him, I was like, all right, I'll give you a call when I'm done with it. And but next day I called them. They had a bed. Went in. They gave me a drug test. I passed. I detoxed on my own. I didn't have any money for drugs. I didn't have any money for food. I didn't have anything, nothing.
What was that detox like?
It was a shitty detox.
I bet,
Very
man.
painful. Not painful, but just like very excruciating, like anxiety, anxiety. I'm frustrated because I have nothing really to do. It was really hard to get sober, to want to get sober, because it's like, what the fuck, for what? you know, but that phone call to my boss, him offering me a job, you know, after I go to rehab, but I was like a little light at the end of the tunnel for me to look to, you know, so it was good for me to kind of keep that in mind as like a goal. And so, yeah.
That's amazing. So you heard that. Was there some sort of like switch that flipped, or were you just like, you know what, I'm going to give it my all and see what happens?
Yeah. It almost kind of was like a switch. I don't know. I was just like, because I don't know. I was super depressed. I was just like, fuck it. Like, either get sober or fucking just like, you know, basically I was like suicidal. I was like, fucking just, I'd rather die than, you know, or get sober. So
like rather die than deal with all the stresses of life.
Yeah, I was at like my rock bottom, you know. They say you hit your rock bottom. I had hit my rock bottom. I was pissed, you know, sad. All these emotions just running through me and just no way to channel them, or, you know. I was just a drug addict, and that's kind of why I was using drugs, but
because it makes you forget.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me forget. Keeps my mind preoccupied. Yeah.
So we'll get to the Salvation Army program, because I want you guys to describe your experience there and maybe help some potential addicts out there, because Riley, I want to get to your story on how you became sober, but it was Johnny that I contacted, and he told me about that program, which you can basically, if they have a bed open, they'll take you in and set you on that path. It's not Passages Malibu. It's not a luxurious rehab center.
Far from it.
It's pretty amazing that they do that for people. So we'll get to the details of their program. But Riley, do you remember some sort of switch, or what was your situation that set you up to your path of sobriety now?
I can remember it very clearly, and that's why this time around it's been so much better and profound for me. You know, just coming to realizations with so many things and just coming to terms and accepting. That's what really set me free. Because before, like, you know, I went to rehab 3 times. This was my 3rd time, so 3rd time's a charm, and it worked for me. But what I was really trying to do, you know, for most of my life was, you know, keep the party going from high school, college, and then after that, I enjoyed being on stuff all the time. You know, it made life more interesting. Like, you just,
yeah,
like, made your mornings interesting, lunch, like sex, anything, whatever you want. And I went to my first rehab because I had a seizure and, I've gotten in trouble, arrested a few times. So I kind of told myself, and, my family included too, like, hey, Riley, I think it's time to get this nipped in the bud. And I went through the motions, didn't really care about working a super hard program. I was just looking at it as like a reset button. Like, let me get some time under my belt, and then I can, go have some drinks and be fine. I just can't go do A, B, and C. Like, no, didn't happen. Like, I was within 6 months after that first time, I was, picking up everything again, and it was probably just as bad, if not worse. And then I had another seizure in my office one time. I was still in the middle of, like, totally abusing prescription drugs, and I just fell out of my desk one day and banged my head and went to the hospital and came back to work like a week later. And it's safe to say I lost that job pretty soon. And after that, I still thought, like, I can, like, still use things and totally be under control. But no, it was totally wrong. And then the last 2.5 years is when I really tried opiates, and that was, that was it. That was powerful enough and strong enough that it makes you pretty much, like, at some point you're ready to give up everything. That's what you do. You just, here you go, take it. I don't want it. I just want this right here. That's enough for me. And I came from a hotel room straight to this third rehab, which it's called Oceanfront Recovery in Laguna Beach. Awesome place, you know, wonderful, wonderful people. And, you know, what happened in that hotel room that night, you know, was profound enough for me to just be like, wow, Riley, you almost bit the dust, and, you know, you got another shot, and look where you're at. Like, you can do it now. And I'm just realized, you know, it's over, man. Like, the party's over. Just pull up your bootstraps and go. Like, just leave it behind. And I was on a hilltop in Laguna Beach getting sober, so it was made it a little easier to get sober.
Like in comparison to Salvation Army.
Yeah. Like,
what did you not like about the Salvation Army?
What did I not like? Oh my God.
Let's talk about this real quick. So the Salvation Army. I've known you obviously my entire life, Riley. You're my brother, and I've known Johnny since 7th grade, 8th grade in middle school. Your guys' personalities are very, even though you the commonality going through addiction, you guys are very different in the sense that I know Johnny, we've worked construction together. My first job was with you and your father's company. His mentality going into Salvation Army, it's not Passages Malibu, it's not in Laguna Beach, it's kind of a rough around the edges treatment. His experience to yours is a little different because, Riley, you want that little soft, that little bit more cushion in treatment. And some people only have that luxury through insurance.
I like to get pampered a little bit, dude. Whatever.
Yeah.
Not to say I didn't try it. I did try the luxurious rehab, you know. My dad got me into a rehab in San Clemente, really nice place. Don't remember what it was called. Obviously I wasn't there long anyways. So anyways, I tried to do it. I couldn't do it. I'm not the kind of personality that can sit around and like all day and kind of talk. The reason I liked the Salvation Army, like you said, I came from construction background, was the working. Like, gave me something to do. You know, I could physical labor, you know. I've never been one to be able to sit and just chill, you know. Never good in school, but you give me like, hey, let's build this. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know. So I loved it for that simple aspect that they gave me work and they put me to work, you know. What do they call it? Idled hands or the devil's what? Or the devil's work or something? Idled hands or the devil's work?
Devil's mind, idled hands.
Something like
because
that.
Because there's religion woven through their program, correct?
Well, yeah. But they don't say that. I'm just saying, like, for me, sitting around is no good. I had to work. I hated rehab. Like,
it's so interesting. You want the grind more than just sitting around with your feet up talking about your problems. You're kind of, give me something to do, and that's what's going to get me better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always kind of knew that too. Like, and my dad, he told me, like, when I was trying to get sober, he's like, dude, you need to stay busy. He goes, if you're anything like me, you need to stay busy. And he was the same way. He was like, as long as I am working, I don't get in trouble. As long as you're working, you won't get in trouble. So I kind of listened to him.
Makes sense. Riley, so
get out of trouble.
Your experience with Salvation Army, that didn't work for you. Describe why it didn't, and then why the place you went to worked for you. Their program.
Well, the work is what I didn't like.
Fucking Riley, dude.
The work was like, what the fuck do you got me doing here?
It wasn't easy work.
Was there meaning behind it? What was the end goal of the work? Because I know Salvation
There's no
Army
end goal.
Slave labor.
No end goal in sight.
And then there's never any end.
They just keep bringing it in, and it just doesn't stop.
Truckloads of donations, and you sit there and unload them, and then sort through them, and then tag them, and then, you know, put them in certain areas, and they ship off to different stores all throughout, you know, Orange County. And, like, the operation itself is pretty fucking and pretty cool.
It's crazy.
It's huge. I had no idea about it until I remember visiting. I went there.
I couldn't believe it existed when I found out what it was. I'm like, What?
You're like, that's how all the clothes and stuff gets to the stores.
Yeah.
Is you guys in there.
I've found some shit in like bags of clothes too. Not like shit, but like, I mean, what you find in those bags of donated clothes, like
Didn't you find a firearm?
I found a 45. Reluctantly turned it in. And also I found a needle that was just loaded up right there in the bag.
Jesus.
And a bunch of filthy shit. Just
all sorts of
all the
filthy
fucking
stuff.
Okay, so the work, kind of a negative about the program. What were the positives? How they just let people, any color or creed, off the street. If they have a bed, they're willing to help you. Is there any? What are the positives?
What's positives?
It made me tougher. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like, cause there's I mean, it's safe to say there's some straight savages that went to that place. Like some tough ass dudes.
Yeah.
Right from jail, prison, cause like it's mainly court ordered is why the main reason why people are there, because they have to be there. So when you have that kind of mentality mixed in with only a few people who went there on their own, like I did, I don't know if you did.
Yeah, I went on my own.
But it's way different. Like to see really some people who have like nothing to live for, absolutely nothing. They've got nothing. And it just makes you really appreciate, what you have. And that's the Salvation Army, and the I guess the positive thing, the most thing that it did for me is just it made me appreciate everything that I have today and the treatment that I got. Because going from that to what I got what I got now is obviously night and day. And it just made me it took like months after to make me finally appreciate the Salvation Army. I was like, my God, like now I know like how bad it can get is the Salvation Army. And
yeah.
Why did it not work for you? Because you ended up relapsing after that program. If you can pinpoint an answer.
I mean, for me, like as you know, I'm not really a physical labor kind of guy. I'm just
no, you never have been.
And I'm just a very interpersonal person. Like I gotta talk things out, work it out, and I never got that from that program. And I don't even want to like act like I'm putting it down, because it's done wonders for so many people, because that program allows people who've got nothing to come in here and you can change your life. Just stay in here.
Yeah.
All you got to do is work for 8 hours a day, and
like normal people, but instead of getting paid, they're putting a roof over your head. How many meals were you guys getting?
3. I like the food. 3 bomb ass meals.
Really, it wasn't bad, huh?
I love the food.
So you're working
right,
for...
Your mom, I never grew up with home cooking, so any meal I'm like, oh, fuck yeah.
There's differences there. Johnny's a little bit more pull him up by his bootstraps. Let's fucking go,
Yeah.
But what about you, Johnny? What were the positives? Because you've been clean. That put you on a 2-year sober trajectory,
Yeah. The positives. There's not really... There's nothing like crazy positive.
Anything in hindsight.
All right, look, it gave me a place to go. It gave me a purpose. Bottom line, I didn't have a house, money. I didn't have anything to get up and get going. So they gave me that, and that was all I needed. That was enough positive for me.
Was it regimented? Like you have to get up at a certain time, go to bed. Was it structured?
Yeah, it was.
Does that help?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely helped. And I have no problem waking up early. I always did construction. I don't mind waking up early. I actually preferred it. But I don't know. There's nothing super positive about the place. It's just if you're down on your luck, and it's a last resort, it is a good place to go. And they do great things for great people, or for people. They do great things for people. They have a great program.
You want to see the best in everybody, but I'm sure you guys experience some people in there that you're like, fucking hell, man.
Yeah, some people, you see them come in and you're like, dude, why? Why are you even trying to get sober?
Yeah, like,
not to be a dick, but
you guys
you're
went
so
through it.
far
Be honest.
down that rabbit hole. There's no return for some people. They're just gone, like out of their minds. And they're in there and they're sober and they're still just fucking out there. And it's like
utilizing a bed maybe that could go to someone who
most likely
would could potentially change.
Right.
And the fact that the program is 6 months really helps. It gives people the most fighting chance who really have nothing. Because, like, I mean, I've got a, awesome, loving family. And, I got plenty of support. And, guys were checking on me the whole time. Like, I mean, dude, there's some guys that are, like, they've got nobody.
Yeah.
No one's helping them with money. They got no money to get cigarettes, nothing.
They have nothing.
And, honestly, the longer they stay in there, the better. Because, like, the second they get out, like...
nothing to stand for.
Yeah.
So what about the program in Laguna worked for you, Riley?
The view.
Fucking idiot.
I'm being serious. Like, this is what...
Okay, but on that point, because this has ran through my head, and I'm sure it's ran through some of our family's heads. Are you on vacation? Therefore,
no.
Life is, like, easier sober? Like, anyone with that view, of course, you're going to wake up, I'm looking at the Pacific Ocean. Life's beautiful. Fuck yeah, it is. What about when you're back in the streets, working the 9 to 5, grinding, having more of life's pressures thrown at you? Does that prepare you for that reality, or is it a long vacation? Word, brother, burping into the fucking mic. No, I'm just kidding.
You can edit that out, right?
No, we'll leave it.
Yeah. It was a combination of a lot of things. Like the planets really aligned for me. Like I said, I came straight from a hotel room when, I mean, I had nothing. I had someone else's clothes on. And
I've been there.
Yeah. And and I got to detox and just started going through it, and then, was finally, like, physically able, to start, like, being normal, get up and, like, shower and do the the basic stuff. And then, I started just getting up very early every morning in this beautiful house, and I wake up every morning and just see the ocean and, like, drink coffee. And it was me realizing, it's done. Like, I'm so tired of doing this over and over. And then seeing that every morning, I was like, you know what? This is where I was meant to get sober, right here. And I almost didn't know what I did to deserve it. But for me, I was like, someone or like something like put this here in front of me and gave me the best shot possible. And I took it. Like, and that was it. And also, like, obviously the programming every single day. Like, we work through so much stuff, like, for 3/4 of the day.
What kind of stuff? Interpersonal, like self-awareness, getting down to the depths of hell within you.
12 steps.
Yeah, it's about that too. You got to do that for sure. Have to do that. And what their goal is pretty much like to, shed you down to like nothing, like where you were before all this like happened. Like back when we were like almost like kids, like, cause back then we were good people. Nothing was wrong. We didn't do anything wrong. And for me, it was like, how can I bring that back? Like that feeling of like being a kid again and just not having all this like bullshit in the middle, all these drugs and alcohol. Like, and I just realized and started remembering so many things. Cause obviously like my mind cleared up and I was just so razor sharp after that. And I was just, you know, trying to do all the things that I started just doing all the things that I missed so much. And then seeing the ocean was like, oh, wow, like now I'm like, when I'm out of here, I'm going to start going body surfing, bodyboarding again. That's what I truly loved, you know, doing before like I started dedicating all my time to pretty much drugs.
So those natural highs.
Yeah, like picking up like something. And that's what I think if you're trying to get sober, you got to pick up something that you love and then you can master, like own it, whether it's anything. Because if you like, you start doing nothing after that and you're just going through the motions, you're not gonna do it. It's not gonna happen.
So if Johnny's crutch per se is staying busy and working, which you're working 5 days a week, right?
Yeah, full time.
Construction?
Yeah, doing plumbing.
Nice.
For competitive plumbing.
Dude, that's a solid gig.
Monday through Friday.
There's competitions?
You know? No, stupid. Just the company name, dude.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Just the company name. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I've been
Nice.
Doing it forever.
So Riley, you reference bodyboarding and staring at the ocean and going through
Stare at the ocean.
Just finding the beauties in life, those natural highs, which I think are critical to lead a happy life. But you're still 70 some odd days in, so you're not as far along as Johnny.
Right.
For someone out there that might be in your shoes, that isn't back into the workforce, that is just focusing on themselves, what do you think you have to do mentally to prepare when you go back to that 9 to 5, when you start facing those daily struggles that we humans go through, referencing that you're still almost on vacation per se, even though you're challenged? And don't let me put words into your mouth, correct me if I'm wrong, but what are you going to do? What is your plan to be able to get back into the workforce and then stick with sobriety?
12 steps.
12 steps. So you break that down. I'm not educated on the 12-step program. What does that entail?
It's the main thing is it's identifying with, you know, a very large group of people that go through the same things as you. And when you find that, it's one of the best things out there, you know, realizing you're not alone. That's what it does for you. You know, I mean, besides all the stuff that's in the book that you read and learn that teaches you how to, you know, process things, you know, itemize everything that you've gone through in your whole life pretty much. Because that's what you do at some point. You go through every little bad thing that you've done to the best of your ability and just look at it and realize it, and then you can let it go.
So you objectively, like, look into yourself, all the fucked up things you've done to yourself, to your family, and you just hit it straight on, and then that combined with a group of people and gives your life a certain sense of meaning.
And you share, you take, like, you like self-inventory. You like really step back through the 12. When you do the 12 steps, you look at yourself, and then you kind of like look at your life and kind of look at the people around your life. And it's like, it gives you better perspective. And then you have to like ask for forgiveness and, you know, make amends with people. And that's so important, I feel like, especially in recovery, like, because certain stupid little things will like eat people, you know, and then they'll just run it in their mind, and then they'll go out and get high. So
little things,
yeah,
like amends with your family,
like amends with your family, or, you know, or holding certain secrets, you know. And that's all right. The thing in rehab, I found I was really scared about, like, with meth makes you like super sexually active, makes you horny as fuck.
Really?
Oh yeah. And so like I going in there and like explaining and sharing some of, like, you know, my sex experiences and shit, and fucking just like, it's like, oh, so you weren't the only one who masturbated all day?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, no, I did that too. And you're like, fuck, thank God. Like,
Whoa.
you know, like, and it is something, it happens. You talk about it, and then like you know who the tweakers are, because they'll be like, yeah, like,
Wow.
you know, and you'll see them at meetings, and they'll be like, yeah, I used to jerk off all day, and then like all the tweakers will be like, it's kind of funny, but you know, like, I don't know.
You're not alone. Like you start
You're not, and
relating with other people.
and that, yeah, like you need that, dude. You need that. You need to also share those feelings, you know, your emotions, those fucked up things that you've done to people. You need to share it with someone. Get it out from like your conscious. Bring it from your subconscious, put it in your conscious, and make yourself aware of it, you know? Don't just put it in the past. Deal with it. And like share it with somebody. And then somebody will help you kind of work through it and talk through it with you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
I
So
think the 12 steps is great, even if you're not an addict. If you're just going through something in life and you know, are having a hard time finding a place or whatever it is, I think doing the 12 steps is great for anybody. It would make the world a better place if everybody did it, you know? Like, it's a good thing. It's not just for addiction.
Yeah, it's you're right. Not just the drugs and alcohol. It just teaches you how to be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
Like not hold on to resentments and just things that will, at the end of the day, like you lose sleep over.
Yeah, doing like a self-inventory at the end of the day. Like kind of reflecting on your day. Like, was I nice to everybody today? Did I do the best I could have today? Just like little shit like that.
That's amazing. I always interpreted it as something that is only applied to drug addicts. But it sounds like the basis is just self-awareness, taking that inventory and looking at yourself objectively.
Yeah.
And just asking yourself, are you happy with the person that you are?
Pretty much.
And if not, you're not alone, for one. There's other people that are in your shoes. And then for two, how are we going to fix it? Like, how are you just going to have a healthier mental state, you know?
Yeah. Like, you you look at the 12 steps, though, and the first step one, admitting that you're powerless, you know, to addiction. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that right there, when people read that, they're like, oh, it's just addicts, you know? And so it automatically, the 12 steps, people are like, oh, that's for addicts. No. But no, it's, if you really, like, continue to read it, and you read the book, and there's a book, 12 Steps, 12 Steps and Traditions. It's goes into, like, the 12 steps and the traditions, and it breaks it down and kind of goes into context about the 12 steps, each step by step.
Nice.
And that's a great book as well. I don't know if you've read it.
So maybe that first step
Not all of
isn't...
it.
You've probably seen it.
I've seen it a few times.
So maybe that first step isn't as relevant to someone who's not addicted to drugs, like
Right.
that you're completely powerless. But there's so many gems within the 12 steps that you say just make people and the world a better place.
Well, yeah, like you could be powerless to anger. If you're like a hothead and you blow a top, like I told you, I get mad. If
I've seen it many of
you know,
times.
if I get if
known
I
you
get
for
mad
years.
enough, it's like, you know, I'm powerless over that.
You get red.
Yeah.
You get rosy cheeks, and you're like, oh, Johnny's trying to squab, bro.
Bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good. It's not just about drug addicts. It's a good
Right.
all around program, like basis.
Nice.
That's what rehab does for people too. Like along with AA, it's not just the drugs or alcohol. It's like a program for life. Like, I mean, because once you take away the drugs and alcohol, which is, you know, what detox does for you, there's so much that's there. Like you're like, oh fuck, look at all this shit I need to deal with.
Yeah.
And that's when it really, like, that's the, you know, bread and butter of all of it.
That makes sense, because when you get in that wormhole of drugs and the physical addictions that kind of keep you in that space,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's most important to focus on what gets you to that door before it spirals out of control. And what you just said is, once you get to that sober state, that's when you want to kind of fix things about yourself in that sober mindset. So then you don't feel like you got to go run and use drugs, and then you spiral out of control with different physical addictions to where now, like, that wormhole is harder to break out of. But that's pretty amazing. I've never really looked into it, but I think that's key, is to find out those things that you're not happy with when you're sober and then try to fix them. Because I was just talking to John Briscoe about this on the last episode, and he said something that really stuck out to me. I want to know what you guys think. He said there's something inherently dangerous about being able to shut off your emotions. So when you're dealing with the stresses of life and the ups and downs and just being human, you guys have felt directly how dangerous it really is to be able to just switch off and then go into a different mindset. Because Riley, for example, with you, I've seen you sober and I've seen you not sober. I've seen you in the depths of hell. Mm-hmm. I will never forget some of these experiences. And even though you are a human in the flesh, what's under your eyes, your soul, is a completely different person. And I've talked to you about this before, and that's something that's so fascinating, because your meat vehicle per se is still on planet Earth, but the personality, Riley, it's not you.
Nope.
The trust completely goes away. The amount of times I've dealt with it gets me to a point where I'm just unfortunately going to write someone off, because I have to focus on my life and my future. And all of family members, I think, deal with other family members who are addicted in different ways. But I remember just pulling up on you one time and seeing the condition you were in, the hurt that it made me feel just to see you treating your body this way. Right. We had an apartment together. It would have been 2013 into 14, I believe, somewhere around there. You were in peak physical condition. You are someone that embraces physical fitness or has had spurts of it throughout your life. And I've seen you in peak physical condition, training, eating clean, still consuming weed pretty regularly, but just being in the mindset of getting my body to the most healthy physical state. And then I remember seeing you at the polar opposite spectrum, where, to quote our Papa Waldo that our dad told us, he was a criminal defense attorney, and he said whenever he was dealing with heroin addicts, he would call them the Walking Dead before the show ever came out back in the 70s. That's always stuck with me. And I never saw it in real life until I pulled up on my own brother.
Right.
And I was like, holy fuck, the Walking Dead, you know?
I can tell you how it gets to that point, and I don't know if it's the same for you or anybody else. When you're in your addiction at some point, however length of time, like, you forget what your emotions are.
Yeah.
You just forget about them. You don't know how to deal with them. And then I think they just start like controlling you. You don't even know it. You're not behind the wheel at some point.
Yeah.
And, when you become sober and you start feeling all your emotions again, that's, what is taught. And that's what you learn, is to deal with that again, how to just deal with all your emotions. And it's crazy. It's almost like a high in itself when everything starts coming back to you.
Right. The pink cloud.
Yeah, the pink cloud.
What is this pink cloud?
What is this pink cloud?
Is it a term?
You tell him, Johnny. You tell him.
Pink cloud. Pink cloud is like when you first get sober, you feel like a high. You get like a high, and you feel like everything is possible. Like, why did I ever do drugs? Being sober isn't so hard, and you feel really good. And it lasts for like a week or two, sometimes longer, and then normally it dies out, and then boom, depression. And it's just something that a lot of addicts get when they go into rehab. At first, at least, first like 30 days or so, they'll start to experience it, and then they feel good. They'll feel like, oh, I can leave. I'll stay sober. And then that's what fucks a lot of people up, is they feel good, and they think they got it, but they don't. And yeah, very short lived.
So what are some tools
To keep it going.
When that cloud fades and reality sets in, the fact that you are not going to feel okay all of the time, 24/7. Nobody does. What are some tools if you feel yourself with their urging to use? Do they teach you guys? Have you guys found any methods that you kind of invented that work for yourself? You guys have anything in particular that helps you get through a tough time now in sobriety?
I kind of breathe. I try and just like slow down and take a deep breath. And
Dude, breathing exercises are a
calm
real
down.
thing. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people talking about that now. What do you do in particularly?
Just do 4 seconds in, and then hold it for 4, or you take a deep breath, hold it for 4, and then let it out for 4 seconds or something like that.
Did you teach this to yourself, or where did you learn it?
They taught it to me in rehab.
Breathing.
Yeah. So
And there's certain stigmas with something like breathing, that it's almost like hippie-ish, that it doesn't work. It's something that you see in the movies,
yeah,
but
no,
that's
it works.
real.
It works really good. Anytime like I get
100%.
anxiety or something, I'll be like, take a few deep, slow breaths and
That's amazing.
kind of bounce out.
I think it has something to do with like your oxygen to CO2 levels in your blood, something with cortisol too, just to like get you back into that right mindset, Riley, what about you? Anything in particular that works for you?
Well, first of all, I mean, working out every single day, meditating, and we live in Southern California, so I have the opportunity to, go in the ocean for 5 days a week. And all that combined, it just neutralizes me, makes me a happy person. And that kind of goes back to the whole pink cloud thing, because I've had many different discussions with different people that I've came across in this, especially this last program at the pink cloud, because I am someone from, you can say, I guess, suffered the pink cloud or benefited. And I would like to say I'm still like on it. And I one day asked somebody, like, why does that have to die off? Like, you can keep going and just and maintain it. It's all about your mindset and your attitude, and really, like, how bad do you want it, and how bad was it before? Because that's another big tool that I could definitely tell people that if you're having a bad day or you're down, like, play back the tape in your head, like, how fucking bad was it? And look at you now. You're doing pretty goddamn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're about to, like, let's say you're going to go out and you might have a drink or something, like, play the tape. Like, 2 weeks from now, from this pack of White Claws, like, 'cause that's what took me out last time. Well, White Claws led to a whole bunch of other shit.
Because when you're in a drunk mindset, what's from stopping you to make that stupid call,
Right.
that stupid decision?
But what I mean is, like, because now that I've got some time under my belt, if I were to go do something, like, think like 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now, a month, like, what's it going to look like for you if you just do this? You're going to go right back to where you were.
And that's why I brought up, because you were saying, how do you sustain that cloud? How do you sustain it,
Meditating, working out, and just constantly being involved in it. And sometimes I just can't explain it. I've just been generally a happy, good person lately. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if I've been good.
Dude, you're doing good. Yes, we've hung out multiple times, because you know this, when I recognize certain subtle things, like literally social media patterns, the look in your eyes, whatever it may be, and I'm like, oh, Riley's using. I'm not going to spend time with him. And
I get that Game 7 look.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is, like, you have been doing well, and that's not just blowing smoke. I think you're on a good path to sustain sobriety. the reason why I've referenced vacation a couple times is just because you're in Johnny's situation right now. Not only is it different, it's different with time that's elapsed, but he's comfortable with the grind, and he's working, and he's got what works for him. Right now, you're concentrating on yourself physically. You're eating healthy. You're going bodyboarding a lot. You're enjoying all of these natural highs and working on yourself. Do you see the strength in you when you go back to work and you're not able to bodyboard every day, and you're not able to spend 5 hours a day on just yourself, but you're working for a company for 8 hours a day?
I still can. You get there early in the morning, and then you rinse off, go to the office.
No, absolutely. I want people who are struggling out there and dealing with depression and anxiety and the struggles of work and stresses. What mindset, Johnny, maybe you could talk about this because you're living proof right now. What mindset should you be in to not relapse and to take those stresses head on and just be like, you know what, it's going to be okay. This is part of life, and it's no reason to run back to abusing. Just naturally dealing with things. Is it something that you think about, or is it just waking up and going to bed one day at a time?
I don't know. I think if you want to be sober, like, to people who get sober, anybody can get sober, but you know, can somebody stay sober is the question, really. Staying sober, the trick to that, finding what works for you, you know? So many people are so different, so I can't just speak for someone. I can only speak for myself, but I really like working and keeping good friends. And like, that was a problem even at the sober living. That was my problem when I lived at a sober living. I lived in one for like about a year and a half, a little over a year and a half. And I couldn't do it anymore because there'd be kids in there that, you know, I saw them and I knew they were fucking pieces of shit. And I'm just like, I don't want to fucking live around these people. Like, I don't want to surround myself with just recovering addicts. I want, you know. And so, like, it was a way of, like, turning the page, turning the chapter, which is kind of, like, was super important for me. Kind of like when I moved out of the sober living, it was like I was no longer surrounded by addicts, no longer surrounded by program, you know. And the only time I was involved in programming was when I wanted to go to a meeting. So that was like, it was cool for me. And it was a little scary at first, 'cause, you know,
I bet.
No accountability, nobody giving me a drug test here every day or every week or whatever it be. And so, I don't know, it was scary at first, but also exciting. And I just kind of ran with it, and I knew I was going to be fine. Like, because I wanted to get sober so bad at the time.
Nice.
You know?
So you said you turned that page feeling comfortable enough to keep your sobriety outside of the home.
Yeah.
But then I remember earlier you guys were referencing the importance of staying in and not just be like, oh, I'm okay, I'm going to dip out. What's the balance there, if any?
Well, like,
you just know internally?
Like, you'll know when you're ready to, like, move on and move out of a sober living. You'll know. And it there'll be days like where you're like, fuck these motherfuckers. I need to get the fuck out of here. I'm done, you know. But you need to stay there, you know. I had plenty of those days. I mean, living in a house full of, I think I lived in 9 guys. There's 9 of us in like a 4-5 bedroom house, and fucking 9 of us, 4-bedroom house or 5-bedroom house. Yeah, we all had a share room, you know, and there's just a lot of people all the time, and you know, people fucking get on each other's nerves. So there will be times where you're like, fuck this, you know, I can move on, but you're not ready. And I know that was the case for me a few times. So I'd say hang in there. But when it is time, you will feel it and you'll know. You won't, when you think about like moving out, you won't get butterflies anymore. Because, like, I know I used to get butterflies. Like, moving out, I'd be like, ooh. You know, kind of thinking. Like, I didn't trust myself. I knew myself. I knew I wasn't ready. And it was like, and then at a certain point, it was like, okay, I'm ready. But I wasn't in a rush to get out. So, like, literally, I was like, all right, I'm ready to move out. But I still stayed for, like, another 4 or 5 months because I just wasn't in a rush to get out. And then my brother spot opened up, and he's like, hey, you want to move in here? I was like, fuck it. It was just kind of good timing. So.
Nice. Which bro you living with?
My brother, Jake.
Jake?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love your brothers, man. We had a lot of good times back in the days.
Yeah. They're good guys, both of them.
Nice. So, Riley, you're still in the sober living home?
Yeah. I mean, the guys I'm with, and I'm right now, I'm not around a whole bunch of people.
Co-ed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Things a little bit more natural, males and females.
So much easier.
And yeah, I still am.
Right?
And it's amazing. It's in Huntington Beach, and it's doing wonders. And kind of going back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago, when someone like decides it's time to be sober, move on. It's different for everybody. Everybody's time. You like you said, you know it inside you. And like I felt that same feeling when I was in that house in Laguna Beach. I just knew. I'm like, I'm not looking back. It's just time to move forward. And it's knowing what you want too is what's going to keep you going. Goals. Because when you know what you want, it's right there in front of you. The next indicated step will keep just laying itself out in front of you.
So what are your goals right now besides becoming more physically fit? Because we've spoken about that. You're exercising, you're dropping weight, eating healthy. Are there any goals that you can pinpoint currently?
Well, first of all, to get back into my work field, there's legal reasons I can't speak on why I'm not working at the moment. But it's just stay sober and keep working the 12 steps. Like,
nice.
Not complicating it at all right now, because we only get one shot at life, so it's time to get it done now.
And get it done right.
Yeah, and I'm fortunate enough to not have to work right now and get that done. So that's super humbling, and I'm so happy for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it right now.
Nice. Concentrate on yourself. I think that's important, especially right now at this point in your sobriety. If there's any advice you guys could give to family members, to parents, to friends dealing with an addict, being in that mindset at one point where no matter what anyone says, it doesn't matter. Riley, you referenced earlier that if this is my drug of choice, that's all I fucking need right now. Nothing else matters. What advice would you give to parents in helping an addict or convincing them to go to rehab, even though I hear that doesn't really work? Like, you got to want it yourself. Or just healthy ways of going about it?
Yeah, first of all, I mean, when you got to have somebody who wants to help themselves, and that's what happens, unfortunately, so much, like families and people want to help someone who don't want to get better. And at some point, what I have to say is you got to cut them off and stop helping them, and they'll have to, just realize it's over or figure it out themselves. It's different though if somebody wants to help, you just got to get them into some program. And I'm pretty sure this statistic is correct. I don't know, maybe we can look it up. I think only 1 in 10 people ever make it to treatment who have a problem.
Anything from you, Johnny? Any advice to the parents or friends?
I'd say cut them off right away. Like, that was the best thing for me. The best between my friends and
you could pull it towards you if you want to lean back.
My friends and like my family especially them cutting me off, that was like it was pretty catastrophic for me.
Yeah.
You know, my family, you know, especially my brothers and sisters, because we grew up, my parents had struggled with drug addiction, so me and my brothers and sisters, we all really leaned on each other. And so we, even still to this day, we still have, you know, we look to each other for guidance, and, you know, we're each other's support systems. And bottom line, them all cutting me off and having no family, no friends, you know, to lean on, it was very sad. And
It got you to rock bottom.
yeah, it got me there quick, you know, because there's drug addicts who never get off drugs, you know. I was only on drugs for like 3-4 years, but then at a certain point, I also kind of wanted it. But I feel like them doing that helped me get there so much faster, because there's so much. I don't know if you've probably talked about it. The I've nevers. They'll like talk about I've never used a needle. I've never, you know, stolen money. And they like, it's a thing in AA they talk about. I have quite a few I've nevers are still. So people will
Gotcha.
like talk to me and they're like, oh, you ever like, oh, you know, slam a shot of dope and you're just like, duh. And I'm like, no, dude, I never did that. And they're like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, yeah, no, I never really used needles. And they're like,
It's kind of like that game, Never Have I Ever.
yeah.
What the fuck?
But it's funny because they'll like look at me like, really? And I'm like, yeah, no, I've never really used needles. And they'll be like, oh, I don't believe you. I don't know. I never used needles, though. I think, did you ever use needles?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, there's
Got
levels
one
to it,
up
I
on
guess.
me. Got one up on me for sure. Yeah, that they always scared the fuck out of me. It's, you know.
So that's
it's a progression, as you know, man.
Yeah.
Like you get
No,
to
I
that
know.
point, and what's so crazy is, and what kind of kept me out of, you know, the path to healing and all that, is thinking like I'm different than all these people. I've never done any of that. Like, how can I be like that? But at the end of the day, it's like we're all the same, and we're all trying to get to the same bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
Doesn't matter what you've done, man.
Yeah.
It's the same underlying allergy that we all have.
You don't want to be arrogant or preach internally that you're better than this person. You know, like you're some stoic person. It's addiction's addiction, you know?
I agree.
But you guys were talking about cutting someone off.
Yeah.
I think that's a common... That's something common that I've heard throughout the course of having one of my brothers being an addict. And I think mothers especially struggle with that reality, just that motherly bare instinct of wanting to coddle your child and never just let them go. And we've experienced that firsthand. And I think it's important, even though that's a hard reality, cutting someone off, someone that you love, someone that you want the best for. But referencing rock bottom, it sounds like unless you get cut off, you're never going to get to rock bottom to get better, at least on your own terms. You know, you might just constantly have the spoon fed to you to where, oh, we're going to put you in this treatment, or, okay, you've been clean here, I'm going to send you this amount of money, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that for you. And that's not rock bottom.
That's enabling.
It's enabling.
Yeah.
And you think that's just a recipe for disaster with an addict.
For sure.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
Well, were you able to find something, Grant?
Yeah, I think I'm
In 2017, an estimated 20.7 million people aged 12 and older needed treatment for a substance use disorder. Addiction is considered a highly treatable disease, and recovery is attainable. About 10% of American adults who are at least 18 years old say they are in recovery from an alcohol or drug abuse issue. That's what you said, right? Riley? 1 in 10? It's 10%. So
yeah, only 10%.
Gosh,
ever get to like help it, and it's it takes a lot of outside perspective to like really know when like something's wrong with you if you got a problem, because some people are stuck in the lifestyle and they never ever like come across that one person or a family member who kind of like lets you know like how bad you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is 1 in 10. Not to say maybe there's some of these people that get better on their own without seeking treatment. It's talking about documented, like people that are actually in a program. Wow.
I mean, because you know how many people are addicted right now to things, and that's scary. Only 10% are like getting treatment. There's millions and millions of people like, you know, addicted to opioids right now.
The opioid epidemic is it's staggering, dude. I think it starts too with those doctors just writing scripts like nobody's business, like you were referencing before, and then people who have surgery and end up getting addicted to prescription drugs, and then let's say insurance gets cut off, or you go down this wormhole, and then eventually you're on something harder, something cheaper. You got your plug, something accessible. I mean, what are your guys' like personal balance now? Like that happy medium, the equilibrium that you think is going to be your recipe for lifelong sobriety. We all have our balance and define it differently. And what would you say your balance is?
Bounces and what?
Like your recipe for success, whether it's food, whether it's work, whether it's family, friends. And are you into cars? Are you into sports? Are you into this or that?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of just a wing it guy. You know, I never really like lay things out. I don't know. I feel like having goals for yourself is super important for sobriety. Like, if you don't want more for yourself, how can you ever have more for yourself or get more for yourself? You know, like you gotta have some goals. You gotta want this. You know, you can't just shit doesn't get handed to you. You know, fucking nobody's gonna hand you nothing in life. Nobody's gonna guide you through anything in life. Nobody's gonna do anything for you in life. So if you don't fucking want it, you're not gonna have it. It's simple as that.
And that's what will bring you, I think, like the happiness and sobriety is like setting out your goals and going after and getting them. Whether it's like at the beginning, setting little things for yourself. You know, that's what's really gonna, you know, keep you sober long term. Because I mean, I've seen plenty of people who have long term sobriety, but they're miserable because they really don't do shit.
Right.
Like
AA's their life, and they fucking hate AA.
Yeah, they go to 7 meetings a week and they hate AA.
I don't know. Are you still going to AA quite a bit?
In this pandemic, it's tough, you know, with you know, so many things being shut down. But yeah, I'm trying to get to as many as I can. I'm actually speaking at one next Thursday.
Nice. I feel like speaking at them is really good for you, especially like in early sobriety. I was never big on meetings, though. I'm still not big on meetings. I don't like going to meetings. I'm the kind of, I don't know, it kind of goes with my personality, though. Like, I just kind of wanted to, like, put the whole thing behind me. And so, like, by not going to meetings, it was kind of like, you know, not surrounding myself with it, and kind of helps me put it in the past. But during early sobriety, my meetings were, you know, my lifeline, so to say. They helped me a lot, like a lot, especially doing like having like your little breakthroughs that you get, you know. You know what I'm talking about. You'll have like little breakthroughs and little epiphanies, and you're like, oh fuck, like
that's legit. Can you guys pinpoint any epiphanies?
I had a breakdown in a meeting at the Salvation Army. I shared, and while I was sharing, I kind of like got into some things, and then I like broke down in front of like a room of like 100 dudes and started like crying, and everybody like kind of like started clapping and kind of like cheering me on, and you know, and I kind of kept going, and afterwards I felt so much better, and like everything that had been like frustrating me that week, you know, was like gone, and I felt so much better.
That's
and
amazing.
Everybody was like, wow, like really great share, and I was just kind of like I didn't really mean, you know, I didn't try and like do anything crazy good with my share. I let it flow, and I like.
You're just being
I
real.
don't know. Yeah, and I, you know, broke down, cried, and hadn't cried about being, you know, all the shit that had gone on, you know. So it was a long needed cry, and to do it in front of like 100 dudes, I was just like in the fucking cafeteria at the place, you know. The cafeteria meetings.
At Salvation Army?
Yeah, there's like
Oh, wow.
where everybody in the Salvation Army is in the meeting, so it's not outside people; it's people you're living with, and it was an
So these were some hard people cheering you on.
It was an embarrassing meeting. I was embarrassed, but you know, nobody said shit about it. Nobody put me down about it. Nobody made fun of me. You know, so there was nothing to be embarrassed about, and that's what's cool about AA, especially like in the early sobriety stages. You know, is the, you know, the camaraderie that you can get from these guys. It's you know, each and every guy that's there is sharing some feeling that you're sharing a feeling with him. I guarantee it. Somebody.
Do they have co-ed AA meetings too, or is it they usually separate them?
There's different ones. There's all men's meetings, there's all women's, and there's co-ed. It's just what you want to kind of accomplish out of the meeting. I think that's why they do that sort of thing. And
right. Might be a distraction.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yes.
But yeah, like I totally relate to what you said just a couple of minutes ago, like, because I for sure don't like meetings. But I mean, they do like wonders for you. Like I don't like it in the fact that, you know, I'm constantly reminded of this shit. Like, fuck. I'm constantly reminded. But every time I go in and you keep your ears open and you listen, you're going to hear something that you've never heard before. And that's what it's like. That's what's one of the great things. You heard something you've never heard before that's going to help you out. And you're also going there for other people. Because you might say something that might, like, you know, make it snap for that person and they want to get it done.
Yeah.
Because, like, you'll notice those people sometimes. They'll be in the meeting and they're quiet and they don't know anybody. And, you know, that's, again, why I'm excited to share, you know, next Thursday. But it's about helping someone else. And if you can say something that can really do it for that person, then you've possibly have saved that person from dying.
Very true.
That's amazing. Because there's a lot of work within the industry, right? Once you become a recovered addict and you have a certain amount of sobriety under your belt, then you could take a leadership position and even build a career off of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's opportunities for that.
Yeah, and when you keep going back to certain meetings and just keep involving yourself, it's incredible the help you can get from other people. Like, I've heard someone get a job hired right there. Raise his hand. I need work, and this guy's like, hired.
Networking.
No way.
Yeah.
Networking.
Oh, okay. So you network too. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great way of networking because everybody knows somebody who does something. You know.
Yeah.
It's a huge amount of people, and it's crazy how many young people are like getting into recovery these days. Because like when you think of AA, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, a bunch of fucking old timers, old drunks, you know?
Not at all.
No, dude. You go to the Newport Alano Club on the peninsula, dude. They're banging girls there in recovery.
Yeah.
There's tons of dudes like my age, you know, your age, even
talent over there.
Yeah, even younger kids, like kids that are like fucking 19 and shit. I'm like, dude, you're not even old enough to drink. Like,
So
how are
do
you
they?
an alcoholic?
Random question that popped up in my head. Do they treat beautiful women and sexual desire as a natural high per se, like a pro or a con in the 12-step program and within rehab? Do they kind of tell you, hey, you need to concentrate on yourself, stay away from girls?
Yeah,
They're
100%.
Distraction? Okay.
Distraction at first.
And dude, I don't know how many guys I've seen like get taken out by like a girl. Just in the beginning, you just, as much as you want to, you gotta just keep snake in the cage and just.
Dude, wait, what? You guys seen Breaking Bad?
What?
Have you guys seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
The scene when the girl, given that was spoiler alert, that was Walt's doing, but he's the one that broke her sobriety. Remember?
Yeah, Jesse
Pinkman.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Where she ODs.
Yeah.
And Walt. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she does, and then Walt chooses not to save her.
I don't
That's
know.
what it was.
Girls are bad news when it comes to sobriety and
Yeah.
trying to stay sober. Girls can be bad news.
Because all that work you've done and like you don't give it away to fucking one person. Like,
Well, you want to build your best self before you can
right.
be in a healthy relationship, or you want to be able to give someone your best self. You know.
Right.
And that's what you want to do early in sobriety.
Yeah. Focus on
You
yourself.
want to fuck. That's what you want to do.
I thought you meant focus on yourself. Yeah.
No, I'll be. no,
Watch that painting behind you. Shout out.
That's
Wade Goodman. Wade Goodman art.
that's honestly like what comes to your head and what you want to do. But if you really want to like stay happy and just keep yourself focused, like just don't like. You can talk to them, but like don't get yourself like super involved because you'll just drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like there's so many dudes like just that's
Creeps.
that's their new drug. They'll just swap their drug with like a chick, and that's their drug of choice now.
Gotcha.
And when that chick doesn't work out for them, it's done. They're gone. They're gonna go get high. It's like
One of the worst feelings.
It's a trip. Watching
Yeah.
people do that, and you'll see dudes doing it, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, why?
That's a dangerous recipe. Heartbreak
like,
by
why?
itself. Even if you're sober, heartbreak
Yeah.
is traumatic. If you're a recovering addict and you go through that, I imagine
Yeah,
relapses.
That's why when you get a
Imminent.
sponsor, every single sponsor will tell you like, just don't like no girls right now.
no girl.
There's a reason why they say it. And at first I was like, what the fuck? Like,
First year.
what are you talking about? But then, like I did kind of like get my head kind of caught up in wine a little bit. And I was kind of focusing a little too much on her. And I was like, whoa, like took a step back. I'm like, Riley, what the fuck are you doing? Like you're taking yourself away from your own peace. Like you got to be selfish with your peace. Like keep it. Don't give it to somebody else, especially early on.
Yeah. I was going to say early on, selfish with your time is okay.
You have to.
Yeah, I agree. I remember thinking like that, having that mentality of like, I'm looking out for me, myself, and I right now, and that's it.
okay.
And that was okay.
Something common I feel like happens with a lot of addicts. Do you think there's a difference between someone who's an addict and has been in the depths of hell, they get sober, and they're like, oh, do you know what? I can drink a little bit, or maybe I could smoke a little weed. Do you think there's two groups of people, someone that can do that and then someone that absolutely cannot touch anything, otherwise they're going to go down a bad path?
You know who you are. like
There's two types of people.
Okay, so
There-
there is
yes.
There's definitely two types of people. Yeah.
there's like that person who will crack open a beer and then all of a sudden they're getting a bag of dope. Like that.
Yeah.
And there's some people who, like I've done it myself, like, started just with the drinking for a little bit and it works for a while, you can have a few and be fine, but then you're just leaving it open like every single time you do it. And that's what happened. It's just, you just can't do it.
So you're saying you're one of those people that can't touch anything?
I'm saying that, yes.
On record. Mom and Dad, on record. Just
I'm
kidding, but,
saying I'm one of those people that I can have a beer and be chill,
Yeah,
and not go and get a bag of dope.
nice.
Yeah, I'm happpier that way. Like, I mean,
You've always had that look in your eye too, and you get too buzzed. You know, I'm like, I think there's some people that have that. Not even trying to talk shit. It's just a fact. That is something maybe that just screams biochemical. It's like, what is the difference there?
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes, like at this point, like I don't even really try to figure it out. Accepting it is what like makes it more freeing feeling. Because if you sit there, like, and I think it's what a lot of people do is they try to figure out so hard, you know, why they picked up that drug or became an addict, and you'll drive yourself crazy. If you just accept that you can't do it, and that's it. Like, you don't have to go searching anymore. And there's all these people that are right there with you.
Yeah.
In the 12 steps.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So there's two different types of people. But would you advise, especially in the beginning, no, like nothing, cold, sober, you know?
Yeah, that's a dangerous game. That's if you're like, I wonder if I'm one of those people. I highly suggest you do not try gambling with your sobriety. Like, I don't know.
That's a good way of putting it. Do not gamble with your sobriety.
Yeah. Sobriety, being sober is like investing. Like, you're investing that time back into yourself. When you get sober, you're now investing time into yourself. You know, and you got to. Everybody wants to be an investor, right? I know you want to be an investor, right?
I already am.
You know, I want to be an investor. I'd rather, you know, hey, yeah, here's some money. Go make some more money. You know, that'd be great. So it's like it's investing time into yourself. You know.
Is there a sense of power that comes with sobriety? Like, you feel like you're in control of your life again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
I remember at first, when I first got sober, I was like, it wasn't so much power, but it was like, I was really like, I didn't care. Like, I didn't have a fuck to give. Like, I'd be like really random. I'd say random shit to random people, and people would kind of be like taken back, and my friends would be like, oh, fucking Johnny. And I'd be like, ah.
Well, you were sober.
But I was sober. And like, I had no problems doing it. And like it was something that I would do like when I was fucked up. Like, I think we were at like going to like the observatory, and we pulled up to the to the parking lady to pay for parking, and I'm like, hey baby, hey, when I pulled up, and my friends were like oh my god, and like she just laughed, you know, and I laughed, but it was something that my friends were like, oh my god, we can't take you anywhere, and I was like, what's the big deal? Like, I'm just having fun, you know. I was starting to enjoy my life again, but I did it like carefree.
You're just over the top?
Not over the top, but just like, I just like, fuck, dude, I've already been a drug addict. What's the worst I can do?
Gotcha.
You know?
So your behavior was justified because you're like, at least I'm not a dope addict.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I could be a sober, crazy person, and it's okay compared to what you were.
Exactly.
But now you're more balanced.
Yeah. I mean, that was like when I first got out of rehab and the Salvation Army, and like, I don't know. Now I'm kind of like, all right, pull your shit together, dude.
And it's crazy to think, like you were saying, there's not much, like, now there's not many consequences for us.
Yeah.
If we stay sober and just keep going, like, we don't really, like, we can kind of do what we want in sobriety and not have to worry about, like, getting stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, the feeling of, like, driving and not worrying about the cop pulling you over, that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
That's
a good one.
Just driving around, like nothing wrong.
Cop
You have nothing to hide.
You're just like,
You say, wave to him, hi.
You know, you have nothing to hide.
yeah, fuck you. Go ahead,
Fuck you.
Go ahead, pull me over, dude.
Pull me over.
You want to search the car? Go ahead.
Hey, the truth will set you free, right?
Right.
Not even just with drugs, but I feel like that's a principle that I try to live by, is if you're always honest, you never have that feeling of like catching yourself saying, oh, I can't say this because it's a lie or this or that. You know, the truth sets you free. If you're never lying about anything, then you can be free. Like, you don't have to cover anything up, you know?
Right.
That's the only way. I mean, that's the only way you can truly heal out of your addiction. You got to be, like, I'm sure, Johnny, you agree, like, you got to be 100% open and honest about everything. And then that's when you start healing. And when you know, when you're honest with someone all the time and you're always telling the truth, that's when you don't have to stop and like remember it, like anything. Like your mind has like cleared up like some hard drive.
Yeah.
Because when you're fibbing and not being totally honest, like your mind's gonna be so stuck on that. Like we're talking, or like I need to tell you something, and I was totally honest with you. Like you don't think about it anymore. It's crazy, you know. You tell the truth.
Yeah. you gain clarity.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Where you don't have to like make shit up anymore. There's nothing to cover up anymore.
Absolutely.
It's all your cards are on the table.
That's an amazing feeling, huh?
All the weight's off your shoulders. You're just like, ugh.
Somebody looking at you in any kind of light and not worrying about it. It's the best.
All right, guys, is there anything you want to leave the audience with? Any struggling addict out there? Maybe something to deter someone from going down the path that you guys went down, and just any advice that you want to leave the audience with?
What I can say is, like, what is drugs and alcohol really doing for you? Look at it and ask yourself, what is it doing for you? Yeah. And see what you find. Yeah. I mean, at least for me, it took everything away, but that's what I think a lot of people should look at.
So very simple. What are the pros and cons? Are you someone who can drink socially but still maintain healthy relationships and maintain a healthy career? You take care of yourself. You've got good balance. Or just recognizing yourself that I'm prone to addiction potentially. I spiral out of control. I don't like myself when I'm consuming. Other people don't like me. So you're saying just objectively look at yourself.
Yeah, not only
what is it doing to your life?
Not only are you possibly an addict, but just take a look at the bullshit that like alcohol and drugs brings to you just in general.
Yeah.
Like just look, like it's right in front of you.
Off of that topic, like when you do get sober and then you see people drinking and getting drunk and their conversations and their interactions, you watch them and you're like, fuck that shit, dude. Like, I don't miss that at all. Like, I being around drunk people, I can't stand it, you know, when you're sober. But you're like, that used to be me. That used to be what I did every weekend, every night, you know. And so it's like, it's a trip when you kind of step back and look at it. And like, I didn't even like think like that or have that perception or like perspective. Even when I'd be at a party on a night that I wasn't drinking. Like, it took me sobriety.
Oh, interesting.
To see that and like kind of have that. I mean, you'll see it when you're not drinking. I'm sure
I know exactly.
I could see you feeling that, but like, yeah.
I can't be critical because for those of you who know me, I'm someone who parties too. I just developed a balance that works for me, and I've had nights that I'm not proud of where I've gotten too drunk, and that's a fact. So I'm not gonna be up on a pedestal and act like I'm perfect because I'm far from it. But I know exactly how you feel. I don't think anyone likes being around drunk people when you're sober.
Yeah,
it's sloppy.
Yeah,
like you look at it from the outsider's perspective, and it's
grimy.
It's grimy, you know.
Yeah, everybody's falling on each other, fucking spitting on each other. You're like, fucking dirtbags. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you coming on and telling your stories and being vulnerable, because it's not something easy to talk about, and I think this is going to help a lot of people. Just the willingness to be open, and there's people that are going to be tuning in, connecting with you, almost like a giant digital or a virtual AA meeting per se.
Right.
But I think shying away and hiding the realities of what someone goes through, that's an addict, what their families go through, it shouldn't be in the shadows. When it gets out into the open, I think people feel that camaraderie and they get strength from it.
Yeah.
And hopefully some people that are thinking about using this or doing that shy away from, I don't want to ever go down that path. But I really appreciate you guys coming on, and I know the audience is going to too. So thanks.
No problem.
Thank you for having us, dude.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach.
All right, you guys. With that being said, talking goes a long way, and we'll catch you next time. Have a good one.
Yeah.